Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of No Disrespect. Can we get a round of applause?
Long awaited.
It would have been sooner, but we had a couple struggles on the first attempt.
Couple technical.
So I think we should
difficulties.
Introduce ourselves.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah.
My name is David Morales. I am from Delco, and I'm not proud, but we're here. I'm just kidding.
I go by the name of Rowell, and I am also from the Delaware County Estates.
States.
So I know, but yeah, it's all right here. But you know what I'm saying? We about to turn everybody up. Let's get it.
Let's do it.
What's up? My name is Anthony Costa. I am also from Delaware County. Putting it on the map with this new podcast we like to call No Disrespect. First episode.
No pun intended.
Yeah, so we grew up together pretty much. You know, we've known each other, since high school, and we've been close friends since. Yeah, and I'd say we get along
For the most part.
for the most part. I'd say together, and we think you guys want to join for this ride. This new adventure we're taking on.
See, the thing is, we thought we should have did this a long time ago. Not just a podcast, but cameras all around us.
Basically, if cameras were following us, you would hear our name a lot sooner. We'd
I'd-
have verified check marks on our name on all our social handles.
We would be on Disney with Jake Paul when he was there.
We wouldn't be that. At least I wouldn't be on Disney. I get kicked off first
Nah,
episode.
that's the least to say though.
For
But
cursing or something.
we interact with each other very, very like on a comedic level.
Let me put it
Should
this
be-
way. If you're the weak of heart, you might as well just turn the podcast off now.
Yeah, let's do a little disclaimer real quick.
Oh yeah.
No disrespect. We wanted to name it that, because we're actually going to do the exact opposite. And we talk about hard shit. We might even name drop. But yeah, that's going to be our brand.
It's
and,
not for the weak-minded.
and we're still sticking to it. So if you get easily offended, I mean, I really want you to tune in, but maybe you shouldn't.
Cut it
but,
the fuck off.
but
or you could just grow the fuck up, whatever you really want to do. But
That's
I mean,
no disrespect.
it's just, we're just being
Yeah.
respectful.
so,
What-
we,
what,
so we're going to start talking about first, fellas.
What I first had in mind is, I wish we would have been able to start it last week because it was a little more fresh, but the whole Ben Simmons, Doc Rivers, Sixers fallout against Atlanta. Rome, I want to hear your thoughts on what do you think happened.
We can point the finger at a lot of people.
There could have been a lot of things
Most
that
people,
happened.
I mean, let's talk about Philly fans. Most people are pointing the finger at our good friend Benjamin. But I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Do I think he's not at fault? I think he's at fault for sure. But
A big part.
I think it's a lot of people we can point at. If this might come a shocker to some people, I have a bigger problem with Tobias Harris.
Yeah, he gets paid way too much to be a third role player.
It got to the point though where I was watching and Tobias Harris. Going off what you said, I agree with you because there was at a point where he looked like he didn't know how to play.
He had
Like
4 points in
he
the
kind of
series.
scared, like he was scared. He was nervous or something.
I mean, that's
don't
what
know
happens.
it
It's a
was.
confidence issue with Tobias, and we see it often. When he's not shooting well, he goes very reserved. He's fucking hiding behind Embiid. He's hiding behind, like, Seth. He just disappears. He doesn't – and when we need him to shoot, he doesn't want to do it if he's not shooting well. Now, that brings me back to my second point. Doc Rivers.
Good old Doc. One
Doc-
championship
Doc.
his whole career.
Which he got carried to by Mr. KG and Mr. Truth. But
If you look at his track record, it's a series of blown postseason leads or just getting run through the mud.
yeah, and I'm starting to see, and I was a big advocate of Doc, so I'm really upset with him because I didn't see it until now because a lot of people are like, hey, he's not what you think he is. Everybody thinks he's this legendary. Well, he is a legendary coach. However, there's a reason why he couldn't win in the West with the Clippers, and now we're starting to see it. So I think it's a little bit deeper than like just our players. Yes, we gonna point the finger at the players, but Doc has made some very, very, very questionable decisions.
Well, my whole thing is he doesn't understand the concept of adjusting
In
his
game.
lineup in game. He just believes that his lineup is good enough to proceed through, which is technically, realistically, it's not the case. if they're not hitting and they're just out of tune, you got to make switches, and you can't just put the faith right in there. You're the coach.
And let's get really specific. So let's talk about one thing that Doc did completely wrong. So Tobias, that game he scored 4 points, which no one wants to talk about, but we all
4
blame Ben.
points.
4 points. But
just had to reiterate.
he makes more than Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Jokic, who just won MVP this
Which
year.
they would have more than 4 points.
Devin
would be
Booker.
my guess.
I don't think they would
Devin
be shaking
Booker.
in their boots like a stripper.
Paul George. He makes a lot of money for him to like be scoring 4 points and averaging 17 in the series. Not good enough. But anyway, let's go back to Doc. So Doc knew Tobias. We all saw Tobias was shooting terrible that game. Okay, whatever. You keep Tobias in. This is the problem. You sub in 4 bench players, 2 of them in their first 2 years. And you leave one starter, and the one starter you leave in is shooting terrible the whole game. And you expect us to hold a league. And everybody wonder why we're blowing 20-point leads. Whose fault is that? At the time, that's not the players. If you putting Maxey and all of them in, everybody's on this Maxey train, which I have a big problem with. We're not going to get into that this episode. But Maxey be blowing a lot of defensive positions that people don't really realize because you don't play basketball. And it's not just about what he does on the offensive end. He is a liability in a lot of places. That's why he doesn't play so many minutes. But anyway, Doc is doing these dumbass sub-ins, and people wonder why we're blowing leads. And they're like, oh, well, we had a 20-point lead. Why we didn't keep it? It's because Ben didn't score. Like, nah, it's not. It's not just because of Ben. Like, it's fucking Doc subbing in 4 rookies with your 180 mil player who just had fucking 2 points in the first half.
I just can't. I mean, I understand your points. Tobias, yes. He makes way too much money to be the 3rd role player out of the team and can't act like it too when he needs to. Or the 2nd one. But I can't just brush by the fact that Ben Simmons
Not going to brush
was
by it.
31% from the in the postseason from the free throw line, 50 on the career and postseason. And we were having an argument a couple weeks ago. You were defending him, all this other shit. And the tune changed a little bit once they lost the series. You were arguing why he gets into All-Star game every year because the coaches vote him in. Yeah, he's a regular season player.
The tone hasn't changed. He's not a regular season player. He can't shoot free throws regular season or postseason.
But nothing's on the line.
He can't
though.
shoot in general.
He can't shoot in general.
Nothing is on the line though in the regular season, so he's way more aggressive. He was scared to go.
Oh, he's aggressive for sure. You can definitely say during the regular season he's aggressive. He'll attack the basket. But there was a point where Trae Young was in front of him and he passed it up.
My man, you could have dunked it. You could
6'10"
have done
like
a
a
360 like between the legs dunk
for sure.
on Trae.
For sure,
But it didn't happen.
And that's definitely has to change. But this is why I say now we can't trade Ben because his value is so low.
Trade value is terrible.
You might get
And
a bag
that's
of Doritos.
why I'm so big on
I think
moving
the podcast
Tobias.
is worth more.
Our first episode. That or Lay's chips. Like
Ben's
that's about
net
it.
worth is
dude.
about fucking $5.
No, you can definitely find his fucking contract on the ground outside. In quarters.
But this is a real big deal for Ben, and I think he's going to go up to the challenge because this is bigger than basketball. This is his endorsements. He will never be a max player again. Possibly. So there's a lot on the line for him, and I don't think he's ever had a wake-up call like this. Ben has been good his whole career, and you heard the thing that Stephen A. said. Like, you heard that someone close in Philly said that he's been babied a lot of his career.
100%.
You could tell by
And
the
they
way
said
he
his fa-
played.
He
and they
don't
said his
work on
family-
his jump shot at
Yeah.
all.
They said in his family.
That's the only thing you had to work on.
Yeah, that's why you really got to focus on the people
confidence.
that you put around you because they can be. So I feel like they tell. And again, Ben feels the need that he doesn't have to get better because when I talk about the All-Star games, when I talk about this, he gets every accolade like this without shooting. A lot of players don't get like that. So if you're a Ben too, I got to understand that from a standpoint that I feel like I'm the shit. I was like I haven't barely shot a 3. And, I'm in an All-Star game every year, and I'm fucking $170 million player. So he feels like I don't think he's ever been pushed because he's so good at what he does best, but he's not realizing how great he could be if he works on this stuff. So.
Just the
Well,
shot.
the
Just
whole
shot.
thing, now with the old jump shot videos being released again.
Oh.
First of all, the ones at the basically the YMCA, you could have us in there playing against him. He'd probably be confident enough to shoot.
I mean, it's probably gonna
He's
be a knockdown
6'10",
artist.
but he's hitting shots.
I wouldn't say that.
Then the
actually.
summer league video of him hitting shots. My whole thing is like, now they're trying to fix his jumper, but they're saying they can switch his to the other hand. That's going to set him back massively. You can't just do that in a fucking off season and think he's going to come in next season and hit shots, because he's not. It's going to be terrible. I don't think he has enough time to just do that. But with his the videos resurfacing and everything, I think it's one of two things, man. It's his confidence level, especially after all the trolling and everything about his shooting, and he was just being lazy. Because if he comes in next season and knocking down shots, it was all confidence and laziness, or just not having that will. He doesn't have that dog.
Absolutely. Do you think Doc still plays a part in that laziness?
Yes, his interviews when post games talking about everything he said about Ben, the whole postseason was trying to cover him. All his interviews after, and then he made that claim or whatever, which really pissed Philly fans off. I don't know if you heard any of it.
Yeah.
It was him saying we shouldn't be ashamed and all this stuff, talking about Ben. Because Philly, I mean, realistically, Philly runs players out of the city.
Yeah.
It's a known fact. If you're
understand
not
where
a
he was
hard
coming
nosed
but
player,
that's that's a perfectly good thing to be mad at.
100%.
To
without
watch,
a doubt.
Yeah.
And especially doing this is the year and everything. First of all, I want to clarify, I'm a Knicks fan.
Well,
I could care less.
Well, at the
Fuck
time,
But-
Doc said that we're a first seed for the first time in some years, and we're coming to playoffs. We're looking like the best team in basketball, damn near, when Doc says this. So this is before Ben's performance in the playoffs, and I feel like that kind of changed after. He's like, oh. That it was a wake up call for everybody. It's a wake up call for Embiid. It's a wake up call for Ben. It's a wake up call for Tobias. A wake up call for Doc. This was a huge wake up, and the process is over. So this is why I think they're going to
exactly because JoJo shut the fuck up. Does not. You can't make another process. JoJo's in his prime, or he's right leading into it. If he's not, he's only got 4, 5, maybe 5 good years left before his knees go. And he just can't really
And they understand
compete.
this. They understand this.
This
and
is
they
a
know.
now win team. This isn't a rebuild again.
And championship, not Eastern Conference Finals, not fucking semifinals.
we haven't even gotten there, by the way.
Not yet.
No.
So
Doc's been there twice his whole career.
that's a waste. If we don't win a championship, it's a waste at this point. And I feel like the Sixers realize this, and all of them realize this, and I feel like we will come back pretty good. But this is why people should stop being so emotional right now, though, because it's kind of bigger than just everybody's right now. They're still mad as fuck. So am I. Everybody's get Ben out of the city. I don't want to see him. I don't give a fuck if he could get better at shoot. That's everybody. I get it because I was kind of like it too. But then when you sit back and start to realize what we have, okay, would you rather be worse? You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to ask yourself. And a lot of people seem like they would rather be worse. You give up Ben, you give up his playmaking, you giving up his defense. And these guys, Seth Curry, Danny Green, they're not going to be the same players without Ben. That's what people don't realize. He makes all of these players better.
I will say Seth stepped up a huge fucking role.
Oh my
this
God, that was
postseason.
great to
he
see.
was doing his
That
thing
was
against
great to
Atlanta
see.
because in the beginning of the postseason he wasn't hot.
Yeah,
He wasn't really
great.
feeling himself.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve the Curry last name. And then he started going off.
Yeah. Yeah, Seth is stepping up
Another
into the
thing.
player he needs to be.
2 players to score in a whole half. You have only 2 players on your team score a whole half. That's kind of fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Doc has no idea. He had no way to adjust. He had no not the thought didn't cross his mind.
Well, another thing about Doc that I have a problem with, and this is why I brush it off of Simmons again. I give him a little bit of slack. There are 0 plays ran for Ben Simmons. 0. So how do we expect him to be aggressive and score? There's 0 plays ran for him. It's all on Embiid, some for Seth, strictly shooting around screens and stuff, and all on Tobias. They had this play. By the way, I know this because my father, he works for the Sixers, and he hears a lot of the things that go on down on the court and shit because he's mic'd up. So they run this play. It's called Punch 4. It's a play for Tobias. They've been running it all season. They'll probably be running it next season too. It's called Punch 4. It's straight for Tobias. That's why, again, my problem goes back to Tobias because Doc puts the ball in his hand. We treat him like he's that guy.
He's a
and
scorer.
and he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he doesn't step up to be
He
that guy
literally has
consistently.
one dribble move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how can that's my question for a lot of people. Okay, Ben sucks. He can't shoot free throws. He can't shoot. Blah blah. Okay, cool. But how we can't expect him to be aggressive if there's 0 plays ran for him. So that's why I brush it back to Doc again. I'm like, coaching is very important. I'm like, you're not really giving Ben a chance to win. I'm like, we run a play for Ben. We might see a quick improvement if you run a play for him. There's 0. There's nothing.
So what do you think?
Nothing.
What do you think next season they give Doc another year, and if he
Yeah.
folds, he's gone?
Yeah, they'll
And
give Doc
I
one more
think-
year. He's out.
The whole thing with this too. I mean, Ben. I think personally, Ben's getting another year at least. Like he's not going to
We're
get.
not going to
He's
get
gonna have
anything we deserve for him.
And everybody stop being idiots. Say, oh, let's do Ben, Thibault, and Maxey for Dame. Like
No.
like listen. There's a thing called the other team, and do you think why would they do that? Just why would Portland do that?
Especially after this.
That makes
postseason.
it so why it's going to be Ben and like why would they do that? If we gonna get somebody like Dame, they will want somebody like Embiid. You know what I'm saying? They're not. So for people, all the idiots out there, stop saying dumbass trade fucking offers. Stop putting Thibault in. Y'all willing to give up. Y'all understand that we held teams under their averages all season and all postseason too. That's the thing. We lost to the Hawks and them, but they only beat us by single digits every game. Like they had to work to beat us, and we were playing terrible. That's because
It's some of the worst basketball we ever played.
That's because exactly.
And they barely beat us.
That's
yeah.
because we held them under their averages. It was our defense that kept us in the game. So y'all willing to give away that for a potential score, or potential that could? I don't think scoring is a problem. I think we can fix it with what we got. And the worst case scenario, we keep everything, and we're first seed again, back in the spot and ready to do it
But
again.
at the end of the day, having Embiid as your go-to guy, he's center. He definitely hits clutch shots, and there's no doubt about it. He's aggressive. He's a dog. But when it comes down to the fourth quarter, you double down on him, crunch time. He's going to have to come out to the line and get back in there or make moves that way. They need that dude. They need Ben to actually perform how he should
yeah,
and be aggressive and open it up for Joel, or just take it to the fucking hole
yeah.
and hit those free throws.
You can't. The big can't be the closer because they'll just
No
double.
chance.
We're too guardable if Embiid is the closer. So everybody be like, "Oh, Embiid be disappearing in the fourth." Nah, it's just super hard for him to fucking score because
Just
it's
entering
all
the ball at all is probably hard at that.
Yeah,
Just
so
got 2 to 3 fucking
so we
people
can't-
around them.
Yeah, so we can't blame that on that. And yeah, and again, that's my problem with Tobias. I'm saying I truly think that. I mean, I do think Ben he needs to shoot free throws. He needs to get a jump shot. All that for sure. I agree. But yo, if Tobias can get us 25, we still beat the Hawks and we be playing the Bucks right now. If Tobias does, I'm like, because Ben does what he does best. Tobias wasn't doing what he does best. That's my problem. We all know Ben can't shoot. Ben was shitty at the shit we knows he's shitty at. But the things we asked him to do defensively, playmaking wise, running the pace of the game,
He was doing it.
he does that great. And I don't think people realize that. They take it for granted. That's why like I give Simmons such a pass because I'm like he's so great at other things that people don't realize. And if you knew like the plus and minus when he's on the floor is big. So
I think you may be the last person in this area to defend Ben Simmons.
I shouldn't be
I haven't heard a single good thing.
I shouldn't be. But
'Cause
I
they
get
did a
it
poll.
though.
They
I
did
guess
a poll.
I'm still like butthurt, low key. That's why I haven't
We're all
said
just
shit about
upset.
Ben.
I
Yeah.
mean-
They did a poll
I was the same
on
way.
the radio, 94.1. And it was like, should they trade Ben Simmons? In the first week, it was 98%. Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw
Or
that.
99.
Yeah.
This week, though, I think it was more or less the trade value, which is still, like, they still don't have any faith in him. They just said no because you're not going to get anything for him. I think it was 67,
Well, that's a
which it
little better.
dropped. But, I mean, people could just be changing their input on him, or, I mean, it could just be the trade
Could be the
value.
yeah. I was gonna say could be the trade value. Could be because they're holding on for hope. I guess.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Just the way these callers, man. I like when I listen to it on the way to work, I die. I think it's so funny.
Well, that's exactly why I
Yeah.
don't listen to it.
I just defend it so much because I think a lot of people are overly obsessed with offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just want to see the
And
scoring.
Definitely.
So people don't take in the whole game consideration, and that's just what my problem with people. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like you just do these crazy things. You get rid of Ben, you get rid of Thibault, you get rid of all. I'm like, we are not the same team. I said we might not. That don't mean like the other day I had an argument with my cousin. He was just saying that. He was defending Russell Westbrook, right? And I was just
First of
it
all,
was a
that
long
dude fucking stinks.
So this was
Triple
Johnson,
doubles or not,
terrible.
he's taking 40 shots a game, and he just ruins teams.
right. So this is what I said to him. I said, so right now, if I know it would never happen, but I was like, right now, if this could happen, would you do straight up Ben Simmons for Russell Westbrook?
No.
He said, absolutely.
He's out of his mind.
We would have won the chip. And you know, this is most
No way,
this-
dude.
We
this
would have
is-
won the chip.
You might not have made it past first round.
Now this is most Philly.
Might not
This is
playoffs.
most Philly fans. This is their mindset, though. They think that they could get somebody else just in there. Anybody is better than Ben right now. That's what people think. He's not a bum.
No.
Ben is not a bum.
It's not a bomb.
How do you
Everybody
think
wants
he's
to
made
call-
it this far without being? I don't know how you can make it to All Star without being able to. What other All Star do you know that can't like shoot?
Yeah.
How many can you name really?
Yeah,
Like
he's-
how?
Just
Obviously, he didn't
centers
get there
usually.
for nothing. Like obviously, he has some other abilities.
That's
which sucks that he
so
can't
that's where
shoot.
I'm at with Philadelphia fans, and that's why
Still blows.
I give people these. I try to give people these statistics and like make them think from a different perspective. I'm like, hold on. It's not the best thing to just get rid of Ben for pennies. Like some people are even saying, I don't give a fuck if we don't get nothing in return. Just get him out of here. I'm like, bro.
Come on, man. You got,
I said that
taking a
when we
big-
first
you're
lost.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
said that
same.
as soon as
I mean-
like the game ended. I saw we lost. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take
I
nothing.
mean, you're taking a big cap hit, bro. Like
That's
that,
why-
him to Tobias
He's a
combined
check.
is unreal.
Yeah, so I'm
that
like-
combo is ridiculous.
So I'm like, dude, like, I mean, now that
It's my GoPro.
so now
Is
that
it all?
It's that one. It might not be.
whatever, we rolling. So I mean, so once now it's been like a week or so, maybe getting close to 2 weeks. Everybody relax.
Yeah.
Let's think about what matters here, and let's leave it up. It's been a real fucking reality check for this team. I think so. I don't think they come in playing around. This is a real reality check, and like I said, more on the line is for Ben. If you don't think this is not just about basketball, Ben is on the line to be another Michael Carter Williams at this point. You know, he's going to be that dude that they were good in the beginning. He's going to be that dude that bounces around teams, and he'll never be a max player again. His endorsements will go down. Nobody's going to want to. He won't be that superstar anymore if he doesn't improve. So that's why I'm brushing it off of Ben, because I'm like, he already know he put himself in a hole. So
Yeah.
he ain't got no choice. He don't have a choice but to
But to
rise.
perform.
So we'll see.
That jaw might just be chopped up, bro.
I think it's overheating.
Probably because it's charging.
Probably because it's like out of
might-
your budget.
It might be charged enough.
Because I
bro.
know you can't afford it.
It might be charged enough.
Yeah, man. But
How
that's
straight that is.
No
yeah,
cap.
that's our take on the Sixers. So
I mean,
we'll see what that leads.
But that's the best part about this podcast. You're gonna get a lot of different topics.
I'll tell you
because
what, there is a lot of different things we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Just everyday living, like just shit that you don't like. You think about, but like you just don't even realize to talk about. And
Listen,
then,
we talk about a lot of things. We can talk about sports. We can talk about important things that are with us. Like we talk about important subjects too. We can talk about like mental health. We can talk about from that to even we can talk about the topics, the trendy topics that are going on today. We're here to kind of talk about everything. We have a lot of interest between the three of us.
Yep.
We have a lot of different experience in a lot of things, and I think there's going to be topics we discuss that you're definitely going to want to listen to and relate to for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely all over the place at a point.
Did we get rid of Mike Scott today?
I don't know. I didn't see.
I think it wasn't.
What the hell does he do?
I
Like, who
know,
cares?
but
I was
it
gonna
was
say, that
something
should be
that
something I'm
finally
upset
had.
besides
about?
fight Philly fans,
It was something that finally had to be done,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
But I think I wanted to mention that. I think we got rid of Mike Scott today. It wasn't trending or nothing, but like he posted like a little farewell thing, and I saw some people posting. I was like, it doesn't seem like it was a trade thing. He
Yeah.
might have just got dropped.
probably. I mean,
So-
he didn't. He just. I don't know.
He was just Mike Scott.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
I was going to say
Guy's a fucking
I
Washington
will-
football team.
I was
fan.
like, I should probably feel bad. I just don't.
No, but you gotta say though
I should probably care, but I just don't give a fuck.
when he comes in, he is like he's like our Scalabrini. Like the
He's
fans
high
do
as a
get hyped.
kite, bro.
He's always fried.
Yeah, he
he
looks high
hangs
as
out with
shit.
JR before the
Bro, remember when
game.
he like fell on a fan and he just like sipped their beer? He is goated for that.
He's
though.
definitely good.
It's a character. But
Definitely a character.
Dude has emojis tattooed on his traps.
Ball playing skills though could use some work. We'll say that.
No doubt.
Just a little bit of adjustment.
He might be on the Shanghai Bears after.
Wait,
might see him at
did
the
you
YMCA.
send that? Wait, did you send that picture of Ben Simmons? Who sent me that picture
I saw it though.
of Ben Simmons looking at the two teams like Shanghai and whatever the other
Oh, I
one
saw
was?
that. I saw that on Twitter.
I mean,
At xdavidm24. Go follow.
you can catch our socials too. It's,
Yeah, it'll be in the description. But
Listen, that shit was funny, but Ben, that shit was a meme, but it might not be a meme for me.
you keep it the fuck up.
I was
Your
gonna
max
say, you keep
contract.
missing free throws.
Your max
Free
contract.
throws.
You're gonna get paid in white rice. For fucking
You will never get a max ever again, bro. You better
You'll
have
get
saved that
paid in
one
rice. That's kind of funny. I'd have to say.
I do want to throw this in there. There will be a lot of flaming on this show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
lot.
kind of
So like actually we're gonna bring guests on
point.
and a couple. We're gonna figure it out who we bring on first.
yeah. We'll definitely be inviting guests onto the podcast.
But yeah, if they do agree to come on, I just want to give them the heads up that you probably will get roasted.
You will have to sign a waiver.
Nah, yeah, we get. I mean,
We're gonna get a few episodes in first, though.
we're
Before we do this.
really. A lot of people don't like being around us.
That is no cap. I
mean,
don't understand.
I mean,
Well,
no,
I
I mean,
understand.
people do like being around us, but
Only
I mean,
at
as
short
a whole,
periods of the time.
yeah, and they like and in pairs. Like if it's all of us together, it's not good if
I
you
mean,
don't know how to defend yourself.
Ocean City, Maryland, I was on fucking fire. Especially in line at Fager's. Everyone who walked next to me caught it. I didn't care. But
Yeah, man.
But it's all jokes. You gotta realize, like we flame each other. Like we
Bad.
give each other hell.
Y'all gonna
I
see a
think
lot
more
of
than,
that.
and you're gonna hear a lot of it.
I mean,
But it's all love. You gotta realize that in the end of all this, it's all love.
Yeah.
We
Like
don't.
Dave got a gumball chain machine on right now.
That's crazy because those
Right.
diamonds are fake as fuck.
no, he called
Your
him.
neck
he,
look green as shit.
Where's the diamond tester?
He called him a Mexican Michael Jackson. I lost.
Hold on, yo, that pic you sent though with your hair the other day. Did you tell
Bro,
him what I
what
said
the?
about?
You were
I
like
said
a
it looked like
black
hay.
little Pete.
I said it looked like hay.
We gotta put that as a clip.
Yeah, I'll put the picture in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It looks like hay.
It looked like fucking noodles.
No,
before
I ain't
you
gonna
put
lie,
them
that
in
was
the
funny
pot.
as
I'm
shit.
glad you thought it was
They-
funny, yo.
they fucked
I just
me up
wanted
with
to
that
quick. I
joke.
wanted to slide in there real quick when you posted it.
I was hating because I was like, man, that shit was ass. And I looked at the pic. I was like, nah, that shit was shit. He just said this shit like, hey, I'm like, he just fucked me up.
I try to do it low key though. I just try to like slide like the little message in there. Look, shit, little
Well, I
hay.
guess like we do have a couple of Rome's cousins on the podcast today.
Oh, the microphones.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is probably the dingiest Stranger Things shirt I've ever seen in my life. He pulled that shit. He ain't wear that shit in 5 years.
Cat. All right. We can go to the next segment. I think this is the main one that we really wanted to talk about today.
Before we get to that, can we discuss the BMW?
Oh,
I just want to
Briefly.
just a
yeah,
quick
a quick.
pause on that statement. I just want to discuss the BMW vehicles as how they are the poorest man's ride. I would say.
Well, let me break it down. So, a lot of people who drive BMWs and stuff, and I mean, even if you don't drive BMWs, you might think like this is a luxury car. This car
Oh, it's
costs a lot
nice,
of
it's
money.
nice.
We think the opposite.
if it's not the high model ones,
If it's not
If
an
it's,
i8
no,
or
honestly,
something,
even if it's an M series, at this point, your financial stability is at an all-time low. I see you're struggling with money because the BMW is just not the vehicle you would go for.
it just fools a lot of people into thinking like, oh, this dude probably has money, but not this dude lives with his mom.
Yeah.
But little do you know, he hasn't left the house
I
yet.
can't tell you how many times I've heard, "How does he have a BMW?" I'm like, I don't know. He probably got it at a fucking junkyard. The thing is not.
He's probably
Like, if
driving with a
someone-
suspended license.
Yeah, and it's like just insane. Like people actually get fascinated. You ever been next to somebody and like, yo, look at that BMW? I'm like, You just said that shit like it was a Ventador.
Like you said that like you're
No
excited.
disrespect.
I mean, that shit.
No disrespect.
I
but
mean,
that
if
car
anybody
fucking
got
sucks.
BMWs out
And
there,
another
I'm not
thing.
saying you don't have money, but I'm saying you don't have money.
All I am saying is it's equivalent to a Prius.
Like, yes,
No
honestly,
disrespect.
Literally, it's
some of it's less than a
It's,
Prius.
it's a
And
driving
another
garbage
thing with
can.
that fucking car is that, and the same thing with Mercedes. I mean, Mercedes
Logo's ass too, by the way.
A Mercedes is a
Shitty.
way, obviously, higher end car, but their parts are so
For the wealthy.
fucking expensive. To change a headlight, it's like $2,000.
Which you're gonna have to do
For the car's worth $2,000 to change the fucking
No, but the
headlight.
moment you take it like off the lot, like you're probably gonna have to get like you're gonna have to fix something on the engine, like the headlight or just something's gonna bust because they're built like garbage.
they,
like-
they really
No, for real. I mean, so basically, we're saying that people who own BMWs are low class.
no disrespect.
All we are trying to say is that you know how they have engineers that they build like quality stuff. The BMW is built by like handymen, like the ones that don't know anything that just put
crackhead
something
maintenance
together.
men.
Yeah, that's what
You can
built
go to
it.
the auction and get a BMW for about $700.
My brother bought one when he first got his license. It was between that and like a nice SUV. Got it at the auction. Thing broke down a week later.
I mean, why do you think the resale value is so low? Because they know it's garbage.
Trash.
Yeah.
American
And,
made, baby.
So we just had to point that out that, people who own BMWs live in them.
All I'm saying is if you own a BMW, you should probably check your bank account because it's probably in the negatives.
That shit funny.
Nah, man. No disrespect.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
What's our next segment?
All right, we can move to the next segment.
All right, yeah, we got that out of the way. I will say now, I guess BMW won't be sponsoring us, but
Oh yeah, by the way, BMW, if you're trying to sponsor this podcast, fuck off.
yeah, we don't want to
Go fuck
lessen
yourself.
our value. But
Yeah, we don't want to lose fans.
what if we got like a letter in the mail like we're getting sued?
By BMW, I'd be like, yeah, I was just kidding.
I'd post it all over.
I said we said that if it's an i8, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's not even cool. It's just trash.
It's just freedom of speech. I don't give a shit.
I'm just
Which brings us to our next subject, which is very controversial. I think a lot of people will have something to say about it, and there will be a lot of highly upset people. I mean, realistically, females. And before we get into it, I want to let you know we know our place. That's the thing. You guys don't.
yeah.
It's like
See, that's the thing. Like
it's a balance thing. So like we know where we are when so the point of this is we need to change the rating scale for these females. I mean, if you're a girl from like
they
a girl,
act too bold. We'll say that.
that's a fact. But like a girl from your hometown, all right, she rates herself, I don't know, what, an 8? Probably, maybe higher.
That's if she's having a bad day, maybe.
she
Like if
would
she's
rate herself
having
like an
like
8.
if she's disappointed with how she looks that day, maybe an 8.
But then you think about it, put her next to like Megan Fox.
Hold on,
or
wait.
Jennifer Lopez.
Pause that real quick. Imagine your average hometown girl getting ready for a girls' night out. What is she rating herself when she's done?
A fucking 10.
A 10. But is she a 10? Because I would have to, say no. She's probably
would
a
have to-
solid 3.
But that's
Being generous.
That's like the average is like what I'm trying to say. Because like if we're gonna broaden this scale, like it has to be around the world. If you put her next to
putting a
Megan
legitimate
Fox,
scale.
she's a fucking 3.
So this is how we like want to rate it. So
We're just gonna adjust.
we say
the scale, that's
from
all.
on a scale from let's say 0 to 10.
0 to 10. We could do
Scale is from 0 to 10, and I say put the 0 in there because you can't use 7. Why?
Safe number.
Why can't you use 7? Because it's a safe number. Every girl like, oh yeah, I'm a 7. 7 means you're like not too bad because you're not saying you're 8, 9, or 10, but you're also not saying you're like a 4, 5, 6. So like, say it's a safe number.
It is a safe
it's
number.
like it's a go-to for female. So you take out 7. So you got to choose whether you're an 8 or a 6. And that's where it gets tricky.
And
Because
that's
you're
like-
because a lot of girls are like, oh, I'm not an 8. You're gonna have to go to that.
See,
6.
like if we were to have a girl as a guest right now, she would be freaking out. When realistically, like, I mean, I understand. You put me next to fucking Thor, I'm a 0. It's Thor. It's fucking dude's big as shit.
Well, to be fair, you could be, I'm not gonna say it.
Cops is probably like a -5.
Whoa,
was gonna
whoa,
say,
whoa.
You can stand by a mannequin. It'd probably be like, at least a solid.
Is this what we're gonna get into?
But no, at least we're honest.
No,
though.
we're not. We're not
We know we're hit.
No, we
we
gonna
know
brush
we're
by
hit.
that.
We ain't brushing by shit. About to get into it, Juice.
I didn't
Relax.
I didn't hear anything.
We're gonna come back to this, but
We'll put a pin on that one.
but serious, ladies. You know, and a lot of dudes will never say this because in fear of getting canceled. Whenever and girls they always have been able to talk about guys. Always,
Listen,
know,
female,
they
we
can-
love
they,
you.
They can
We
say
love
they
you,
don't
bro.
want
I mean,
no scrubs.
we at the end of the day, we technically need you, but we don't. But
I guess y'all are all right.
we do. So that's
we need you guys to reproduce. You need us to survive, and you also need us to reproduce as well. So,
yeah.
I mean, I would say we have the upper hand. No disrespect.
But that's the whole point. Like, I don't understand. And the ratings can go into like a lot of things. Like, personality is a big thing, but if we're talking off natural beauty,
And we're talking on natural
fucking
beauty, and-
landslide.
right? And we use celebrities as as a comparison because one, you can Google them without makeup. You can Google Rihanna, Beyonce, females like this that are 8, 9s, and 10s without makeup, and these people are still 8, 9s, and 10s.
And then you can get the argument that we're just naming celebrities and you're rating them there because they're celebrities. If there's a fucking
They're
gorgeous woman, I'm gonna rate her how she should be
They're
rated.
human.
Amen.
They're human. They're not robots. You know what I'm saying? So we can do celebrity. They're human. There's a girl that looks like Beyonce out there. She's just not Beyonce. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? You go to you got to go outside of your hometown and stop. A lot of people ratings are crazy, and a lot of females they rank. They're all 8s, 9s, and 10s, and you're not. You're not, young lady. You're not. A lot of people. The,
Hold on,
the new
I
average.
do
should
want
be-
to put some standards. We're not using personality for this rating. This is
This is
solely
looks.
looks,
This is
right?
looks. This is
Okay,
looks.
okay. Because
We
I'm
put
not gonna lie, when you brought up personality, like me personally, I would put 100% put personality like them way higher on the scale.
Oh, without a
If
doubt.
I knew they had a personality.
Without a doubt.
But all right, if I got that out the way, it's solely based on looks, then I mean that's worse for y'all.
It goes into a lot with the
it's
personality.
just
though.
worse for y'all.
It goes into a lot with the
Lowers the number.
personality, though. Like the personality.
Absolutely.
I mean, not for nothing. Like, it might sound like a dick. What can they provide? Like job stability, and I mean all around like loyalty, but
You said stability.
stability.
We
Like
we don't look for them in stability.
I know, but if you're like saying like I don't know,
guys have to produce. That's our value.
We don't look. That's our
That's
values
our
are
value.
different, and
Yeah.
a lot of women get this wrong. They're like, "Well, I made this amount of money." The men that you want don't care about your money.
Yeah.
that's a fact.
The men that you want. Yeah, for sure. But the thing about pretty privilege, though, is that it could be a detriment because it gets you in the door, but it doesn't keep you in the door. So a lot of times, girls think being pretty is the only thing that they can bring to the table. But again, to a high value man that you deem as like your gold status type guy, he has a bunch of pretty girl. He has a bunch of options. So if you're the pretty girl with no personality and you don't cook, you don't do the things that a wife would do, he's going to pick the girl that does have one. So there's kind of and girls with pretty privilege, they think they don't need to do that stuff because they're pretty. But the man that you're searching for, is looking for more in you too.
Yeah.
So this is the questions women need to ask. They need to ask, so what is the type of man I want from me? Everybody's always like, well, I want this from a
That's
guy.
actually
I want
good.
this.
That's a good perspective.
What do they don't never look at it for our perspective. What do they want from?
But I guarantee
you know?
there's a lot of men. I mean, I've even done this before. There's a lot of men who definitely think like, what can I do to get more women to want me?
We always look at the women
know?
in
But
their,
that's
in their
like the
interest.
thing.
But
We
women don't.
always
Women
have-
don't look at how do I get
Naturally.
high value men? High value men. What are they looking for, and how do I attract that?
yeah.
What do I have to do to get that?
Name one guy. I've never
never heard a woman say that. I've never.
Seriously, I never met one guy that was like, like I already got it. I don't need to know how women dudes like learn how women work.
Yeah.
Like that's how we, what I'm saying? That's how we survive. Women have never tried to have any
understand
interest.
men.
There's some
Yeah.
women out there. Let's not
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Oh
There's
yeah,
some
this
women
isn't
that's out
everyone,
there.
by the way.
This
Like,
isn't every woman,
yeah.
but this is a problem, a reoccurring problem we see in most of women now that we're getting older.
It's just
we're
this
starting to see a
generation.
lot.
It's definitely not all, but
It's this generation.
It's like like a lot majority.
Modern
I mean,
women.
another thing is like we've only lived here our whole lives,
Yep.
but it's still like
Oh, it's worldwide.
that's what I'm saying, bro. If Will Smith, if fucking Will Smith and like Steph Curry are having problems like this, Steph Curry's shit pissed me off.
Yeah.
He doesn't give me enough attention.
Yeah, it's never
Bro!
enough. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit
People
up.
only know your name because of Steph Curry, by the way. Like, can we be honest? Like, can we just point that out
can't.
for a second?
You can't make this
But
shit
he's
up.
brought you into
But
his
it's-
life.
It's definitely
It
just-
will never be enough. Imagine if Steph Curry said that shit.
he would get
And women were on their
Tortured.
side. And women
on
were like, you know
social
what?
status.
Aisha, she's right. She's right. You know how many women defended that bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
If Steph Curry said that shit, he would have got. He might have lost his fucking max contract.
You're not that guy,
The
pal.
hell?
You're
You're not that guy.
Like what the hell?
And you are?
What if he was like, you know what? I just,
Absolutely.
I just want more attention from women. I think imagine
Yeah.
if Steph said that and it was like insane.
Which females fiend for attention. I won't even just say guys in general. I'd just say attention. It could be from a girl. It could be a girl looking for another girl. They just fiend for the attention.
Attention
There's a
is
lot
a
of
crazy thing, dude.
I guess. I mean, I get that definitely can go on both sides for sure.
I would say.
But I say this to say this, like
'Cause if you're not getting enough of it,
Yeah.
right. But I say this to say this, like it's just having better outcomes. I think women go into situations think that they can have it all, but if you do some compromise, that's what life is about. It's about
It's
compromise
about
and
compromising
trade-offs.
for sure.
So I feel like that's what a lot of women lack, and if they understand that concept, they'll have better outcomes. They'll be happy because what makes women happy? It's different for us, but what makes a woman happy most of the time are relationships.
Yeah.
right?
That's not for men.
Well, no,
Relationships, other shit make us happy. You know what I'm saying? It's not relationships not on the top for us that make us happy.
just
but
bought a
on the
boat.
top for women, right? Yeah. But for women, the average
deck of
relationships,
cards.
women that are in relationships, like it makes them
Bought a
happy.
cigar.
Bought some cigarettes. That's pretty exciting.
I just got some boxers for
Discount
birthday.
price.
Fruit of
too.
the Loom. just left TJ Maxx on sale.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. And
Shout out TJ Maxx.
shout out to you, Max. Need a sponsor.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, we like you. You're over BMW for sure.
We just gonna fucking disrespect BMW. Like,
Yeah.
but
No disrespect.
I mean, we are literally are not. We in a bad time right now.
I'm just saying,
Well,
dude.
dude,
I
that's
think
why
it's this
I-
generation, and it's just getting worse.
Well, dude, that's
and
why
worse,
I'd rather
man.
stay single. You know, I found happiness within being single, like being alone and learning to love myself. Like that's so much better,
You
right, at
sound
least
like
right
a
now.
bitch.
Damn, that's crazy.
Shut the fuck up.
What the
That's
hell?
crazy because he's wearing a fake ass diamond chain right now, talking heavy as shit. Like that chain is heavy as shit. That thing's probably weighed about like a gram.
I know that.
That T-shirt's not even white anymore. That's all I don't like.
We've seen
A
this
stale-
black tee multiple times.
It's a stale ass.
and he
white
doesn't
tee.
buy new ones.
No,
So.
it's
See
the
how,
same.
see how they're
And
joined
that
together?
fucking that
And-
hat.
That's
And
cute.
it's Levi's.
My hat. You want to talk my hat? Yo, we've seen that hat for 3 years straight, bro. You're telling me that New York hat he hasn't
We
been
didn't
wearing
see that.
since you've seen him? This is
We-
new. This is this is new, but that's not.
You haven't taken it off since you bought it.
that's
I
not-
feel like your hair is gonna come off when you take it off.
It might.
Fucking stuck to that shit. No, my fault. I ain't mean to cut you all day. It was like I had to throw that in there. You did sound like a bitch, but that shit. No, but
No,
real
but
rap, though.
he's speaking real
He's speaking
shit.
some
No,
facts.
And
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like, I think women need to look at it that way too. Like, if they just jump and jump, they're looking for someone to fill that, whereas though they could fill it themselves first. And I feel like it would work out a lot better that way because
How
you're
are
a
you
lot
gonna-
less expected.
How are you gonna love someone else if you don't love yourself?
And that's
Right.
literally what it
And
comes
bro,
down to.
you know, for the longest time, though, I've never been able to answer this question. You know how women are like, well, why are if we fuck a lot of guys and we're whores, but if you fuck a lot of girls, like you're like praised.
Because the whole dynamic. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah,
but the
well,
dynamics off. man.
because like it's different for guys because women look for experience in a guy, so that's why we get praised. Y'all actually want it. Y'all don't want the virgin, never talk to nobody, nerdy dude, scared to talk to girl. Y'all don't want that guy. Y'all want the popular guy that did fuck a lot of dudes. That's what you guys want. We want
the guy that fucks a lot of dudes.
Oh shit.
Boys.
My fault.
Fucking pause
we
gets
interchange
soft.
it between talk about men and women. My fault. But fucking major pause. We need a fucking pause button.
I'll put it in.
Yeah, but it's different. So, and for women, why you're a whore if you fuck a lot of guys, because like the highest honor you can give a man is sex and a child. So if you're giving up the highest honor you can give to a man, a lot of y'all are making babies with these ain't shit ass dudes.
That's facts.
And then y'all expected somebody else to come, pick up sloppy seconds and shit. That's just not how that works. Because we're like, damn, the best thing about a woman is the fact that you can reproduce for us. That's the highest honor you can give a man. So you giving that up so easy, your fucking sexual marketplace value goes down. That's what I'm saying. And ours go up because y'all like that. The more experience, and it's just how it is. Like, it's nature. We didn't make the rules. That's just how it is. So to answer women's question, why y'all get called whores and we get praised for this, that's the answer.
Well, it's also to go off that. I think it's also like, how much like girls fuck who they want, and for the most part, guys, at least if they're looking for just sex, fuck who they can.
Yep.
So like that's the prize.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're just giving it up, if you are the prize, and you're just literally just giving it up like nothing. I mean, what are you really valuable? A valuable prize? No.
Yep.
And that's still the thing too. Like I'm not even. I might sound like a bitch here, but like I really do respect like the women that actually hold out for like month, 2 month, whatever. I mean, it gets to a limit, but like it's like.
Yeah, you sound like a bitch.
Watch what you say.
What do you mean?
That shit is a detriment, though. You're not supposed to. I know it sounds a little contradicting, but everything's a balance with life. You can't be holding out too much, ladies.
Oh well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like not, but
too much is a while. Ain't no dude sticking around for that shit.
But I think it's like I'm talking about where it's like they hold out until it's like you both really want to be in it, kind of. I feel like that's where they're at with it. Like them ones that do. I mean, like a month, whatever. Like by that time, I feel like it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, especially if you guys are going on like mad dates and shit. But that's I feel like the ones that just start like you earn their trust, vice versa, all that shit, and that shit's usually serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I still do respect like the ones that like I really dig that.
Yeah, you really.
Well,
yeah, you do sound like a little bit of a bitch, but.
I mean, I'll dump you right now.
Yeah, that's
highly unlikely.
On camera.
Highly unlikely.
But going off what you said, I think like, I forgot where I was going.
Yeah, he said you're gone.
He said, "Do you see how I let that shit die down?"
Yeah, I had to like give myself that pause to like think about it, and then I'm like,
Bro,
nah, it hasn't.
Going
came
off
up.
what you said, yeah.
I give myself more time by doing that.
What you say again?
I did it to give myself more time. I couldn't think of it.
But I don't know if you saw it. Did you saw the episode on Impulsive with Summer Rae?
Yeah. Oh, how she held out with MGK? Like she didn't like. Let
Yeah.
him...
And I have a whole new perspective for her after that episode.
Oh yeah, bro. That's like wifey
Like I
material.
thought it was just like shaking.
She's wifey material.
but she's
yo.
like a Christian and all this
chick
shit, bro.
who does nothing but show her ass on camera. Well, she does more than I'm sorry, but like just to dumb it down, I guess. Who does nothing but just shake her ass on camera, is wifey material. Like after watching this episode, when you like hear her articulate herself, and
I mean,
and
you got to
just
think too. Like she does, like she
describe her values and shit.
her social
She's like wifey material
status. That's
Oh
it.
my
She
God.
gets paid for
Explain
this.
to me why she's wifey material.
You just have to watch the episode.
It would definitely explain. So like,
No, I want to hear from you guys. Explain to me
Okay.
why you came up with the assumption that she is wifey
the
material.
way she was like describing, I don't remember like word for word, but
Yeah, it's her.
like
explaining
those
values.
videos got her like popping, and that's why like they brought her on and all this stuff. But so like she holds herself to this like kind of the way we were describing it, like the prize. Like she's like she makes it known that that's like that's it. But
And
that
she
whole
knows-
shaking, like
she knows dudes. She understands how guys like just want to fuck her, especially because she's like out there just presenting herself like she would be easy. I guess like how most women who are out here shaking their ass. I mean, I guess I can't say for most, but the ones that are just seeking for that attention and validation, who want it for easy, easy men that just give them constant attention or whatever. She's not looking for that. That's also another reason why she won't. Why won't she create an OnlyFans?
and that's what I was gonna say.
Why hasn't
next.
she made that?
She would make millions.
That bag yet? She doing the same thing she's doing on Instagram because she doesn't even have to post.
Integrity.
Exactly.
And she was saying that's like
Exactly.
it's more of like a pride thing. Where like if you think of OnlyFans, what do you think of?
Porn.
but
Literally.
But hold on. What she said. This is another thing she said. It does, but it's not. I mean, there's some OnlyFans where it's not
They
porn.
literally-
But
I
what's
mean,
the-
it's not literally.
Yeah,
But
They
but
make, like,
exactly.
art
But
and
what's
shit on
it's
there.
a
but
adultery.
she knows that. But what does she care about? What's
Dude,
the
they
stigma?
do like art and shit on there. Like
Yeah.
like people
it's
paint.
everything. It's not.
Yeah, it's every. But
fucking
but
fun.
what's
It's
the
definitely about
stigma around OnlyFans? It's
porn.
like porn. So because of that, in general, she can make that bag, but she knows that it's not just porn. But what's the stigma that will be around her name? And she says she wants to be a role model for younger kids.
Yeah, that really,
younger
like, changed-
girls who
changed-
look up to her, going like, get your money, but like you don't need to sacrifice it for this.
So I'm a agree, but halfway disagree. We don't know this girl personally.
That's true.
Fair.
You never know.
She could
somebody
be capping.
Fair.
until
I mean, she
ain't-
could be lying out her
I ain't
ass.
even gonna say in a
That
She
fine
could
relationship.
have
ass.
just went and fucked Logan
Yeah.
right after. But
I ain't even gonna say in a relationship. We don't know why until we fucking living with them.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like, spending that
That's a
type of
big
time.
thing.
So
Which, by
that-
the way, Summer, I love you. Like if you're hearing this,
yeah,
so,
I mean,
so
reach
that's
out.
why we'll
Yo,
figure out someone's
Summer,
wife material.
fuck Rome. I love
Nah,
it.
I'm just.
I wouldn't
listen,
ask you to do such a horrible thing.
Listen,
But
very beautiful girl, but I'm just being honest. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
no,
That
you're
shit
definitely
ain't-
not lying because we don't know her at all. I mean,
no, but I'm just obviously like when we're saying wife
But that
material,
character
like,
she
obviously there's so
portrayed,
much
she-
more that goes into it. But that was a lot of high value character that I saw from her that was
better,
definitely
better
attractive.
than most women in
Yeah.
the public.
And I'll say this too.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't love her personality. I don't think she has, at least for my taste personally, I don't think she has I don't think my personality would commingle
well.
with hers that great. So I don't think she has the best personality for me. That being said, like all the high value that she articulated and talked about and displayed, so much respect that I give her, and definitely find an attraction of that even more, as
Okay.
well.
and that's the dude.
Besides her
Another
look.
thing is like that. I feel like a lot of shit happens like between relationships, bro. Like the talking aspect. Cause like I'll tell you straight
The
up, like,
talking face?
no. Like just communicating in general.
Oh,
Like-
yeah,
like
absolutely.
what you're feeling in your head.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not like afraid to hurt your feelings, like at all.
I think
And it takes us fucking. You gotta drive. Like it's basically like finding a fucking going through a maze to figure out what's wrong instead of just saying it, where you could work it out so much easier. I feel like
communication.
communication is such a
No, you know what? People say communication is key. Comprehension is key. We can communicate all we want, but if we can't comprehend,
yeah, but
like,
people.
what
I
the
feel
fuck
like
we're
I think it's
communicating?
almost the same thing because I feel like people who can effectively communicate, understand the value of comprehension.
True.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like
most
people
people,
who
most
who-
people don't.
yeah, absolutely, but they
Yeah.
aren't. They're in my perspective. I don't think they're effective communicators for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I feel like, and if there is, there's more often than not, someone lacks. There might be one person, but then the other person is not so great at what can understand.
and
'cause-
that does work both ways. But like for me personally, like I feel like I'm very open about pretty much most of this shit if I'm comfortable.
I think a relationship definitely is heavy on communication, though. Like, if you guys aren't able to communicate with each other, like you said, how you're feeling or what's going on, what happened that day,
And that, like, makes
stuff that bother you and
That
stuff
makes
like
a
that.
fight drag on for like fucking 10 days when
yeah.
it could have been avoided in I don't know an hour.
True. But the thing about relationships though, and how like most of them work is, it's duty though, and a lot of people, and it's hard, breaking out of that kid mindset where we think like this shit's a Disney fantasy and we find our soulmate
Movies
and shit.
type
You know
of
what I'm
shit,
saying?
yeah.
Most women stay in that more than men in that fantasy, but that's not what it is, especially marriage. That shit ain't what it is. It's fucking duty. We grown. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We gonna get together. Hey, I'm handling this part. Boom, boom, boom. And we gonna cooperate on this part. Okay, cool. I'll handle this part. Boom, boom, boom. Like you literally making a deal with
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah, not saying that you can't love each other.
Yeah.
But You know,
I mean, that's
if
the
you
whole-
go
I
back to
feel
the
like-
old days, the idea around marriage wasn't about love. You know, it's not just strictly on love. And a lot of people get together and get married on love, and it doesn't last because it's strictly on love and nothing else. And people think love is supposed to be that strong, and it's not. It's about what both of you guys bring to the table and how you coexist, you know, together with your socioeconomic status. And, you know, a lot of people don't really realize that about it. And that's why a lot of shit fails, I feel like. So if you kind of talk about that beforehand, and you guys know each what you bring to the table, a lot of people go in there blinded, like, oh well, we love each other. And well, what if this person gets cancer and loses their hair and they don't look the same, and then they get sick and start getting on your nerves? It's not gonna be the same, right? You know, marriage is in sickness and in health. You know, when they say that at the vows, people forget about all the bad shit.
Yeah.
about
I mean,
that's when the duty comes in, and a lot of people aren't fit for it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's no doubt. And I mean, that's something real. Like, you're not lying about that. Like, the duty is a heavy part of it, and the vow is like
It's compromise too.
it's
Shit.
big compromise. Like, I mean,
it's not about love at that point,
like,
in my
it-
opinion.
like, you gotta it's not, and you got to think about that. Like, I mean, to an extent, I guess it is. Like, you love this person so much, you're trying for it.
For sure.
I guess that would be it. But like,
For sure.
and even like the duty, like, you don't have to be great at it. Like, if I mean, just God forbid you get sick or whatever. Like, we're not asking you to, like, vice versa. It shouldn't be like you need to do every single thing this time, how it's done, blah 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 blah
No.
blah. But you should want to kind of do that and take
No.
that responsibility on. And I don't think like everyone's fit for that
Nope.
type of responsibility, because that's a big responsibility.
Nope. Yeah. And like,
And
would-
I even understand that, which is actually another reason why like I'm still single. Is I prefer like I said, I want to be
you're
a
still
little-
young too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know I have time, but I want to be selfish. I want to only kind of care about myself right now. I don't want that
Yeah.
responsibility, which I know like, well, listen, man, if she's got to be one special woman, if the right woman came, like I would take on that responsibility, but it's not something I'm looking for right now. You know?
Well, you know, a lot of men, like, this is a statistic too. A lot of men don't really hit their financial stride until about 40 years old.
older,
Yeah.
So, and that's when, like, and most women don't want to build with a dude. They
Oh,
just,
yeah.
you know, want to, like, they
Want
don't
it
want to
where
build a
it's
boo.
now.
Yeah. So, and a lot of women aren't waiting until somebody's for. Well, that's the reason why women like older guys. It's the stability part.
Well, because they
And that's why
got
we
their,
like
their
younger,
money.
and that's why we like younger girls, because of the cooperation part. They're more able to get on our program and able to listen to us and let us lead. Men, like, I feel like we're meant to lead for a reason, you know. And a lot of people confuse lead with control, and I don't think they're the same.
No, they're not.
It's a difference between controlling, and there's men out there that's controlling. There's ain't shit out there, men, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about men in bad faith, because I am a man. There's a lot of good dudes out there, for sure. So I speak on the ones that are good. But obviously, there's a lot of ain't shit dudes, for real.
Yeah, no cap.
You know, so I want to get that out there again. It's not to bash, you know, anybody. Just want better outcomes, because when it comes down to having kids and stuff too, when there's a man and a woman in the household, the kid just turns out better. Because, you know,
Absolutely.
Without a
I,
doubt.
I
Absolutely.
think the mother is really there for that nurturing part. A lot of dudes, like, I know I'm not good at, I wouldn't be good at, I'm actually like, you know, I date a woman right now, like, who has a kid, and I'm not good at the nurturing part. I'm just like a correct. I'm like, hey, don't do that. I'm just like,
Some old ass pop.
yeah, like, I just be on the correction side. Like, I don't really care about the feeling part. I'm like, listen, like, I don't care about your feelings. Like, this wrong, don't do that, you know? And then, like, her mom is, like, more of,
I think everybody's
the
different.
nurturing
'Cause I
part.
have a
So-
niece who I definitely would give the world to. You know,
Yeah.
whether she did something bad, I'll nurture the fuck out of her.
Well, I'm saying typically
Like-
men aren't good at the feeling part, and typically
Right.
women, like most.
Oh,
saying,
I mean,
not
for
the
sure.
extreme.
No,
You're
for
probably
sure.
not-
Yeah,
there's men
women
out
are-
there that's probably good at.
Yeah, no,
feeling,
for sure.
but
There's
most men
women-
aren't good at it,
Yeah.
and most women are good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
At
sure.
the nurturing part,
For
so
sure.
that's why, and it's just you see better outcomes in a kid when you have both of them in
Both
there,
of them, yeah.
because they have the both.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you know a man might be too aggressive, and then now the kid ends up being angry because they can't really express themselves how they want to. They don't got, because they're not letting out that other feeling. Or if the woman's on side, they might be too much of a baby, you know, because the woman is nurturing too much. So it's just
Yeah.
better when you have that balance. I really think it's all about balance. So I feel like we're always better together
Well,
than
I think that's
apart
proven.
if we can make it
I think
work.
there's actual statistics out there that show
I
that
would say that
you know parents that
For
stay
sure.
together, their kids grow up to be at least a little more successful for the most part.
For sure,
Probably.
for sure. Better outcomes, for sure.
Yeah, just better outcomes. It's just more likely. I'm not saying it's impossible that people who are single parents can't do it and their kid's not going to grow up to be great, because they can, absolutely.
sure.
But, you know, I just think the potential is higher
And
Yep.
I can't stress it enough. I'm gonna say it now. This it's not meant to offend anybody, but it's going to, and I really don't apologize for it. Just because
Well, I'm laughing. I don't even know what he's gonna say.
Yeah,
The
I
fact
don't
of the
either.
matter-
Yeah, I'm smiling like I knew what he was about to go
the
to. but I
fact
have
of the
no
matter is, like, we know our place. It's not like we're just out here saying we're fucking God's gift, and it's just I feel like this could help a lot of people.
For sure. It's all about knowing what you qualify for. You know, if you work hard enough, this is how most men feel, and I feel like they should. Like men that are 6-figure earners, that shit hard.
It is.
You making, you know how many men make 6-figure earners? Like it's less than 10%. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to make a lot of money, like in today's world. You know,
Especially,
and well,
I
in
mean,
any world. So, like a lot of dudes don't make 6 figures. Most people don't make that, and especially women, the rating goes even lower than that. So, if a dude makes it to that point, you should live
Give
a little. You
yourself a
should,
pat on the back.
you know what I'm saying? Oh, I can get this woman. You work that hard to do that. Like I said,
That's
when
right. Well,
men
don't
have
settle.
to make themselves
That's
valuable,
another thing. Don't settle.
they
too.
not going to settle,
Don't
and
settle.
that's what we're saying. So when you're searching for that man that worked hard as shit, and most men don't hit their stride till about 40 financially. So you working for that man, you want that man that's 40, that's a 6-figure earner. He worked hard as shit to get there, and you think you're not going to do nothing? You think he's just gonna pick you and you didn't do nothing to work on yourself while he was busting his ass
Yeah.
and it's 40 working on him? You know what I'm saying? It just don't add up sometimes. So
Well, in the
we
end,
gotta think about that.
I think it's you said it there is working on yourself. If the only person working on themselves in the relationship is the guy, it's gonna fail.
It's not gonna work out.
It's gonna fail. It's gonna
man.
fail.
Yeah, I wonder why all and then it's all men.
fail.
And then it's all men ain't shit.
Voice crack.
Then it's all men ain't shit. Like this shit be better. I was watching this show the other day. It's called All American. Y'all probably heard of it.
Yeah, I seen
And it was this mom on there. She's like a mom of 2, and then her sister died or something, so she even take on a 3rd kid. So basically, she got 3 kids, and she's at the bar trying to find men, and men are like, nah. Once they figure out she got 3 kids, they like, nah. And they're like, oh, all these men are mediocre and shit. I'm like, they mediocre because they don't want to have to deal with somebody else's. Oh, sorry. They
damn.
mediocre because they don't want to have to deal with somebody else's kids. You know what I'm saying? How quickly
Especially
men get bashed just
so-
for that. I'm like, would y'all want to deal with a dude who got 3 kids? Like,
Yeah.
no.
No.
No, it's just smart. Y'all call them mediocre. I call them smart.
I mean,
That's
like
the fuck? Like,
it's like how like fast did that even come apart? Like when did she break the ice to him? Like she probably said it from the jump. So it's like, bro, I mean, that's a
It's-
lot to take in. Like
yeah, man. Like
I don't think
women that
anyone-
had their babies out of wedlock, they got it hard. It's a questionable decision. I know I have a daughter. If I had a daughter, I would tell them that it's important. A lot of people don't think it is, but it's important in the day and world. You get older, men not looking because
that's
y'all
a lot
y'all
of
are looking for-
responsibility to take on too. I
Yeah.
mean, like first of all,
Seriously,
I mean, if you're gonna be there, you're gonna be there,
yeah.
and it's like financially being there for the kids in general, just all around being that father figure now, and then you got to deal with the other actual father.
Yep. You typically got baby dad issues. You might get into it with them. You might, it's a lot that men can simply say
and
no.
some guys-
especially a 6-figure earner. Why would he ever deal? He worked his ass off to make 6 figures. Why would he ever deal with a single mom when he can
Well-
get somebody that's 25, no kids, ready to get on this program?
It's not even.
Like-
it's not even just that. Like either. Like it's like some guys want. They don't want like they want to be the best dad, but to their own kids. You know, like they want to have like their own. Like there's people and everyone has preferences. Like, you know, it's not like a guy's not willing to take up the responsibility of nurturing someone else's kid.
I'll always put that
for the
disclaimer
woman.
in there.
Yeah.
Not saying it doesn't happen and,
And
it will
especially-
not happen.
and
We're
especially-
just saying it's unlikely. That's all.
I mean, and like you really fuck with the chick too. I mean,
It's
it's
all-
all
yeah.
a big part. Like I think if you really want to change your life this much,
But you got to be bringing a hell of a deal. You got to be an awesome woman. Like, you got to bring a lot to the table if you bringing on that. And there's women that's capable of it, but then there's some women that just don't want to do shit. They
Yeah,
like,
no, there's still
"Here,
women out there with like
take
2
my-
kids.
Take my kid and my problems. Here go my baggage. I'm like,
There's women with like
You know
2
what I'm saying?
kids who still want their standards. Like, oh, you better be like, I don't want you living with like your mom. You can't be like
why you ain't set the standards for your baby dad?
exactly. Well,
Like,
why are you putting it to now? Why are you putting it
Yeah.
now?
And
You
that's
should
hard-
have them standards back then.
And as men, we're very territorial. So that's going to be in the back of our head always. We're never just going to be like, not think about that. That's going to be in the back of our head saying, she asked for a lot out of me that she didn't ask out of dude that she gave the highest honor to, a child. That's the highest honor you can give a man. So that's going to always be in the back of somebody's head. But like I said, it happens, There's dudes out there that want to be stepdads for sure. I'm just saying, but if you are a single mom, you got to bring something to the table for sure. Like I said, it's about duty.
Yeah.
Fuck the love part. It's about duty. For real, y'all take them vows. That shit ain't. You know what I'm saying?
What time are we at?
For
How long
sure.
are we here?
It doesn't tell me.
Yeah, but we can end it off on that though.
That's why I
I was gonna
wanted
say, I
to
think
bring the iPad because that would actually have the time.
I
But
think it's
Gotcha.
been about an hour.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you. Hold on,
Yeah,
because I
man.
got my DoorDash.
But this was a nice little entry level episode.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, we only talked about what, like 2 topics today.
Yeah.
We have a
well,
bunch
3.
of things.
I mean, we included the shitty BMW series.
Are we even gonna give that, status of a topic? No, that's more of like a side note. Anyway, we're gonna be discussing a lot though. We're gonna try to do this at least once a week. If you guys start, enjoying it and liking the content, then we'll start pushing it out a little bit more. But I think we're doing big things here. We're gonna have our socials in the description if you guys want to give us a follow, and just
And no disrespect, social page will be up soon.
absolutely. And we also have an artist on the podcast if you're like into that sort of thing.
He's kind of trash.
Yeah, if you like music,
If you want to listen, I mean,
if you like music, I wouldn't suggest listening to it. But
If you like hearing,
if you want to show support, for sure, for sure, I suggest it. But
yeah, but we will be getting back in every week. And like I said before, it's no disrespect. It's just
no disrespect.
It's just factual opinions.
Yeah, man.
It's all love,
I don't
baby.
care if you don't like it, but you're gonna get something out of it.
Let us know the feedback. We'll be looking forward to it.
yeah, absolutely.
for sure.
Give us feedback. We'll be taking a look at it. Not saying we're gonna actually use it or give a fuck, but
Give out.
we'll definitely read it. Well, maybe. But thank you guys. I hope you
signing
enjoyed
off.
this podcast, and we'll see you soon.
No disrespect.
I'm cutting that. The
Yeah,
fuck
please
out.
cut that.
See you guys.